Not really sure. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why it was doing that. Okay, there we go. Oh man. Well, welcome in. Hope you guys enjoy the stream. It's going to be different from now on. I have the new laptop, so we are running on 60 frames finally. For those of you who don't know, we actually were running on 30 the whole time. I thought we were running on 48, but I found out that no, we were not. We were running on 30. Rookie mistake on that. So now we're running 60 frames. We're running ultra low latency. I'm seeing your stuff pretty much 4 seconds after um, I'm doing stuff, right? So it's only a 4 second delay, and that's that. So hopefully the production quality is a lot better. That was what I was aiming for. Um, but yeah, so there we go. We're getting a lot of quality comments. That's what I like to see. I'm a big fan of making sure it's the best. But it is buttery smooth right now, as a lot of people are saying. Welcome in. We have not a ton to talk about because the Rams just seemingly aren't really doing anything. But we'll discuss what is going on, and with that being said, there is a lot going on in a sense. I mean, we don't have the full details on it, but we do know that Aaron Donald is looking for a new reworked contract. We do know that the Rams indeed are trying to pretty much, I guess, compensate, even though he's already under contract, but compensate Cooper Cup for a job extremely well done last year. So you have that. You have end zone celebration quality. I love it. So you got that. You have all of it. Um, but then on top of it, Sean McVay, Les Snead, eventually at some point we're going to get those contract extensions in as well. So, a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, but I think the biggest thing right now a lot of people want to know is when and if Bobby Wagner is going to sign. And Jake, are you going to back off what you've been saying, or are you going to double down? And I'll say this. I do think Bobby Wagner is going to end up as a Ram. I think he is deciding between the Rams and Ravens. I think really what it comes down to is if he, feels like he can win while also making a little bit more with Baltimore, he'll choose Baltimore. But if he feels like the Rams are his best opportunity, he might take a little bit less money and go to the Rams. The Rams are reportedly not willing to offer him 11 million for 1 year, which is what he is looking for. Which I don't think is that bad. The Rams can definitely make do. With that, but they don't want to pay him that. And I think a lot of it is because they also do have to pay Donald, they do have to pay Cup, and they're not done. This is not it. It's not, they get Bobby Wagner and they call it an off season. We're in the dead period of free agency. Free agency is pretty much dead at this point, but what we need to realize is that there are still guys that are out there like Tyrann Mathieu, like Stephon Gilmore. There's also opportunities out there you and I may not know about, but there are definitely opportunities out there. Plus, during the draft, the Rams are going to make moves. Whether we realize it or not, for the edge, for the cornerback position. I definitely expect them to make some moves, and I think there's a good chance that they could end up with Wagner and decide that, hey, we want to trade for somebody that we really like. And we think, maybe like a guy like Bradbury, for instance, James Bradbury for the Giants. Maybe you trade for him, you add him a cornerback to go alongside Jalen Ramsey, or you sign Stephon Gilmore. Patrick Peterson just went off the board. Not really a guy I was interested in, but interesting enough that he goes off the board. It's another chip that does fall. And so, we'll see, but he's going to be back with the Vikings, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. Let's see. Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you there, but um well, we didn't go that long without a Will Smith joke. So, I figured it was coming. Guys, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. Feel free to drop a comment. Just chill out, hang out, have some fun. Um, I definitely will be getting back in the swing of these. And I took about a week off. There wasn't really any news, and I was there in case, Bobby Wagner or anything broke out. But, I just took a week off, and, finally we got the laptop. We got everything the way I want it. The streaming setup is exactly how I want it. So from here on out, this is the quality that you're going to see, which is, you know, I think it's pretty good. But I think you guys are definitely well, someone said it was like the end zone camera. Like, what is that, 8K? So, we'll see in regards to what the Rams do, but some pretty interesting stuff. Personally, I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think it makes more sense to pay Cooper Kupp than it does Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is still under contract. Cooper Kupp is as well, but Aaron Donald held out for his contract. He got the biggest contract that he could get, and then, of course, the next day, Khalil Mack beat him, but that's not really the point. With Cooper Kupp, however, he had maybe the greatest season in the history of the NFL at the wide receiver position. Actually, I don't think it's really maybe. I think he did. I think it's maybe one of the greatest seasons in NFL history, regardless of position. And you didn't, really see anything about him holding out or saying he's going to retire or anything like that. And I understand he's younger, but it kind of, like I said, guys. I mean, I've been very vocal about it. I love Aaron Donald and what he's done for the Rams, but definitely is kind of a turnoff. Uh, you know, Hearing, oh well, bring back this guy or I'm gonna retire, and now it's no longer bring back this guy, I'm gonna retire. It's more like pay me or I'm gonna retire. It's kind of like, all right, like I don't know. I look at Cooper Kupp. I think they're handling it the right way. They want to, let him know he's appreciated, and I think it's definitely the right course of action. You show him that you care, and you give him a little bit more. He's earned it, and I think that's the thing is they're going to work on a restructure in a way that rewards Cooper Kupp. I don't think it's going to be a whole new contract, but make no mistake about it. Christian Kirk is a big reason why any of these receiver deals are happening. He has nuked the wide receiver market, or rather the Jaguars, shockingly enough, with the inflation there. They sit there, they hoard all the cap space, and then they throw it at, the first big name free agent, and there you go. So, I think a beige leisure suit and a big gold medallion on a 70s show look. That is interesting. I've never been told that or asked that or anything, but I don't. Here's my thing: how big of a pay raise are we talking? Because I mean, like Cooper Kupp is 17th in the league in receivers. He deserves a raise. Aaron Donald is a little bit behind Chris Jones. That's kind of the nature of the business. He'd pass him with another contract, and it wouldn't be that big either. So I don't think he needs, like, people say blank check. I don't necessarily agree with that, but yep, we're doing the Will Smith slap now. Um, I appreciate that, Alex. Thank you for donating. Hopefully, if you guys have any, comments, questions, concerns about the setup or anything, or you have any ideas, just, hit me up with them. Appreciate it. I'm glad we got the setup we wanted. Oh, man. So, what's new with all of you guys? Since it's been a week, and obviously, I know some of you that follow, MCU probably saw I almost said Nightwing, Moon Knight. I thought it was pretty good. There we go. There's that Moon Knight comment that I figured that we would have. But I mean, for the most part, I watched that. I've been watching a lot of Gotham. I've been, following some NBA. I mean, it doesn't look like the Lakers have much of a chance, but, well, I mean, we'll see. They're getting LeBron and AD back reportedly on Friday, so we'll see about that. Been watching a lot of college basketball, as you guys know. Being a Kansas fan, my team is in the Final Four, and I feel really good about it. I was surprised, though, that a team that a lot of you like and a team that I thought was going to make the final, UCLA, got upset. I did not expect them to lose to UNC, so I was a little surprised by that. Oh yeah, Gotham's incredible. It just keeps getting better and better and better. It's it blows me away, really, to be honest with you. I think Ben McKenzie as Jim Gordon is one of my favorite castings ever, maybe. So, what's up, Nolan? What's up, Ashton? I mean, I don't know. Depends. We don't know what Elliot Donald is going to end up being. You know, he could be a top 10 prospect. He could be a fourth rounder. I mean, I'm sure, you know, if Aaron is still with the team when he does come out, then, you know, he'll have some sort of say about it. But, you know, as of right now, hard to tell. I don't know him too well. I just saw his pick six in practice or whatever pretty recently. So, what's up, Ted? You've rewatched Gotham 4 times? Wow. Yeah, I mean, I can't get over how, you know, it's very similar to the Spider-Man animated series. And I think we've talked about how great the Spider-Man animated series is and how, you know, above and beyond they go with all the villains and all the, you know, I feel like that's Gotham, but it's live action. It's so cool, the origin and everything. I love it. Did I start doing any research for the draft? I did. The only reason I haven't done a, you know, a draft stream or anything like that regarding the Rams, because I know I said I'd do that. I'm pretty much waiting for some dominoes to fall. I'm waiting to see who the Rams acquire. If they do get Bobby Wagner, like I believe that they're going to, then I need to know that. If they don't, and they're that interested in Bobby Wagner, that tells me that they're probably going to be looking at linebacker pretty early in the draft. So, you know, it's hard to decide until we know for sure. Let's see. The new Batman is top notch. Loved it. Absolutely. I think Bobby Wagner probably signs within the next 2 weeks, but that's no easy way to tell. A lot of these guys are trying to hold out for better deals, so I get it. Do you think Will Smith will make a good linebacker? No. I just got into Gotham. What are you guys thinking? What do you guys think of it? So Gotham to me is already becoming one of my favorite shows. I'm on season 3. I just think they do such a great job of tying all of these, you know, all the lore together and everything. I just think it's phenomenal, and I really enjoy it. Um, let's see. I also like Winning Time. The Lakers, Jerry Buss and Magic Johnson story. NC still in it. That's my basketball college team. Stoked. Dominic, I hope they beat Duke. I'm really that's the only team I really don't want to win. I mean, I'm not a huge Villanova fan either, just because my Kansas, you know, fandom. I'm not like the biggest fan of Villanova, but you know, I definitely I like them more than Duke. We'll say that. How much more cap space will we have after June 1st? Good question. Hard to know until those contracts are done, but I mean, I'd imagine that they'll have over, you know, at least 15 million, maybe even closer to 20 million. We'll see. Still salty Spider-Man animated series landed on cliffhanger. Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I guess, yeah, no, that makes sense. I think Gotham's Jim Gordon should be how Batman's Jim Gordon should be IMO. And Alfred, don't get me started. Easily my favorite character next to Jim. Yo, I agree. I think those two are fantastic. I think the casting is amazing. You know, the young Catwoman that they chose, and Bruce Wayne, and you know, Bullock is awesome. And yeah, it's a great show. If you haven't checked out Gotham, definitely check it out. That's what I've been watching. That's what I've been up to when I'm not live or if I'm not working or anything like that. I've been watching that. I've been watching Bel Air, which the next episode of Bel Air comes out at 5 a.m. tomorrow. I think it's 5 a.m. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And then I've been watching Winning Time every Sunday. So, oh yeah, I'm not a Duke fan. No. They annoy me, so I can't even mince words on them. Um, Scream 5 or Halloween Kills, which is better in your opinion? Ooh, that's tough. It's almost like part of me kind of feels like the better story, because one wasn't meant to lead into another movie. I'm sure they'll make another Scream, but I felt like Scream 5 was a better overall movie because it didn't feel like it needed more to lead into, right? Like it was just a really good standalone film. Whereas Halloween Kills is leading into Halloween Ends. So I feel like in that sense, Scream 5, I kind of liked a little bit more than Halloween Kills. I'm not going to lie. I thought, having the legacy characters back was done with more than just fan service. I thought it was a really good, script. I thought just it was a really good plot overall. I thought they did a nice job with it, and I'm excited for the sixth one because, I really do feel like Wes would be very proud of that film. What's up, Joakim? How we doing? How much longer do you think it will be before we sign up Odell? Not sure. Although I do know that the Rams are interested in a long-term, well, not long-term, but a multi-year deal, probably a 2-year deal, heavy incentive base, things like that. We'll see if OBJ decides to do that or not. At least the Cowboys ruled out Wagner, so it seems he's either with us or out of the NFC. At least that's true. Let's see. When you get some time, list any good shows are worth watching. Ooh, okay. So this is what I'll say. For those of you who need show recommendations, Gotham, number 1. That's what I'm watching right now. I would say Bel Air on Peacock. It's great. It's like a reimaginative version of The Fresh Prince. It's a drama, so I definitely recommend that. In addition to that, Barry. If you guys have ever seen Barry on HBO, season 3 is right around the corner. It comes out this upcoming month. Moon Knight, check that out. Just launched yesterday on Disney Plus, or today, this morning, 3 a.m. There's a lot. Winning Time on HBO, Euphoria on HBO. I love all of them. The Good Place. So, that's pretty much what I've been watching for sure. So yeah, I would recommend all of those, all those TV shows. Guys, be sure to hit the thumbs up. If you're on mobile and you don't know how to do it, just back out of the live chat and it'll go back to the video and you can just hit the thumbs up, like icon, whatever you want to do. It really helps out the channel. I'm going to need it because since I haven't streamed in a week, I'm probably going to be kicked out of the algorithm a little bit. So if you guys could help me with that, would really appreciate it. We're at 46 likes. Let's see if we can get this back up to 100 at least, and we'll go from there. Let's see. What's up, Jake? Digging my Rams championship DVD. Nice. Love to see that. It's complicated with AD. His problem isn't his fault. He gets really unlucky, but I think they should trade him too. I agree with you. And AD, I've heard that a lot. Well, it's a freak injury. It's always a freak injury, but he just doesn't do a good job of putting himself in athletic positions to not get injured. Anthony Davis' biggest issue is that while he is extremely coordinated, he also isn't. Like, if you watch Aaron Rodgers clearly works on how he gets sacked in the NFL. Like, he goes the extra mile not to get hurt. And so we see that. He'll go down or he'll twist his legs. He'll give with the sack. So if a guy wraps him around the ankle, he's going to turn with the guy. So he may not break out of the sack, but what he's going to do is prevent injury. With Anthony Davis, his movement is just not good. He always finds himself twisting his ankle. He puts himself in bad positions. And that's my biggest issue with Anthony Davis, is that it's not just a freak injury when it's happening all the time. The guy can't stay healthy, and so for that reason, I'm kind of feeling like they need to move on from him. They need to trade him, and if they could do it, I would kill for a trade with the Boston Celtics. If they were to send over Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, I would do that trade in an instant for Anthony Davis. I don't know if they would ever do that, but at one point or another, I'm sure they would have. I don't know if Anthony Davis's value is high enough anymore to justify that. But why is everybody wanting Duke to win? No idea. They're one of the least likable teams, I think, in my opinion anyway. They're just hard to like. And, a main reason, everyone's like, why do you hate Duke so much? Why do you hate Coach K? Why do you hate greatness? You don't like Tom Brady. You don't like Coach K. You don't like anybody that's great. That's not really true. if you notice the pattern, it's guys that are shoved in my face, shoved down my throat, guys that are constantly talked about over and over and over again. Tom Brady's one of them. You could absolutely say Coach K is one of them. I don't really like Tom Izzo, who constantly, for whatever reason, since he hasn't actually won a championship since 2000, we always have to hear about Michigan State. Let's be honest here, Michigan State is only as big as they are because Magic Johnson and his history there. They're not as elite of a program as everyone wants to make them out to be, and they're not a blue blood. That's for damn sure. So for me, that kind of bothers me. And the thing is with Coach K, I'm sure he's a great coach, but he whined a lot during the one and done era when Calipari started getting, the Anthony Davises of the world, the Marquise Teagues, the Terrence Jones. And, instead of whining and like learning how to beat it, all he did was stoop as low as, the one and dones. I mean, I just saw a graphic today that Duke has the most one and dones. They have so many, no, not one and dones. They have so many 5-star recruits that they have as many 5-star recruits as Kansas, Villanova, and UNC put together. Kansas has 0, by the way. So, I don't know why we're looking at more 5 stars and thinking, wow, that's a great job Coach K has done. What an excellent coach. And not looking at the fact is that, the guys that don't have the 5 stars that are doing more with less, they should be lauded. I think Bill Self is having an incredible season with what he has around him. Seemingly the same team, despite going out and getting Arizona State transfer Remy Martin. They're seemingly the same team as last year that lost by 30 to USC in the second round. To me, I think that shows more about Bill Self. Just like the Villanova coach, Jay Wright, constantly having that success without going out and getting, 5-star after 5 stars. So you have to give him credit. And then UNC, I mean, they don't have as many 5 stars. They were an 8th seed. They already beat this team. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of the whole, I'm going to, moan and complain about this, and then I'm going to just stoop as low as, the way I'm talking about it. So I don't know. I don't like Coach K. Also don't like the sketchy stuff that went on with Zion Williamson and how, Coach K basically wasn't ever brought into that mix, even though he ended up going to Duke. I don't know. I just don't like him. I don't like Duke. I would prefer he doesn't get his, awesome ending to his story. And it ends up very similar to Tom Brady before he retired, before he came back out of retirement, in that Kansas sends him off and retires him. That would be awesome. That would be great. So we'll see, but that's kind of where I'm at on that. The extensions are priority. First, Aaron Donald, less Snead and McVay. Everything after that is gravy. Bobby, if we want to pay him what he is worth. I think that's my biggest concern because I just don't really understand how we can allow Aaron Donald to kind of strong arm the organization. I mean, I get it, but like if he's just gonna, like if he doesn't want to play that badly, like if he's threatening retirement, then I would almost say just like let him retire. I mean, you can't put your entire offseason on hold if Aaron Donald doesn't want to play. You know what I mean? That's my concern. But one thing I'll say is when Aaron Donald gets his money, he doesn't change his game at all. Like it's not like he gets worse. So I mean that's another thing, but we'll see. The Incredible Hulk greater than Thanos. I like Thanos more personally, but that's interesting. Stafford is lobbying for the Rams to bring back OBJ. Do you think that they are going to sign him soon? I don't really know what is soon, to be honest with you, Terrence. I mean, what even is soon at this point? I think they'll bring him back, but I'm not like super, super confident, if that makes sense. Any fans of New Girl's Nick Miller, check out Minx on HBO Max. Pretty good show so far. 4 episodes out so far. New episodes on Thursdays. I mean, I love New Girl, but Nick Miller drove me insane. So I don't know if that would be the best for me. Oh man, that's funny though. Let's see. It's not hard when he wants to come to LA. If they want to pay him what he's worth, $11 million is decent. He is an all-pro inside linebacker. He's not a chump. Pay up. We will get him. I love when YouTube refreshes my comments and I miss out on other stuff. Okay, let's see. Have you watched any anime, and if so, which ones? Just Dragon Ball. I only like Dragon Ball. I'm not a fan of anime really at all. Just I don't know. Dragon Ball Z universe always piqued my interest and didn't mean to hit that. And that's why, for the most part, that's the only thing that I am interested in, or whatever. But um, let's see. Uh, Bobby is a tank, super healthy, plays as well. That's true. Duke taking it, fam. Sorry, Jake, you my guy, but I'm a Duke guy. I don't think Duke's gonna win. I think this is one of those ones where everyone thought Brady was gonna win his eighth and he didn't. I think that's what's gonna happen, unless it's totally rigged in Krzyzewski's favor. But we'll see. I mean, there's no way to know until we see the games the way they play out. But we know the officiating can control games, so we'll see. I'm not saying everything is rigged necessarily, but there's gonna be questions if he wins the title. There's gonna be questions if it ends up being a controversial ending. Um, why can't there be a contract with OBJ in which he doesn't start being paid when he is physically able to be full in practice? I'm sure there's some way to do that, but I don't know exactly how. But I'm sure there's some way that people that manage contracts can do that. Anthony Davis, he needs to be traded. I agree. Euphoria, I think it's a longer wait on Bobby as he is his own agent. It's his first free agency, so it might be a little overwhelmed with all the contract. That makes sense. Hope you're feeling better, Jake. Respect for getting back to the grind. Appreciate you, Jack. Von Miller's Instagram post today quoting OBJ was very interesting, maybe hinting check it out. Jake, interesting. Dominic, is it weird my favorite horror movie series is the Leprechaun movies? Yes, Dominic. I hate the Leprechaun series. I hate it so much. I don't find him funny, and I find him very irritating. So it's like I can't even root for him. Like, some people, like, well, they'll root for, like, Michael Myers. Like, I'm not saying I would 100% root for him, because I do like the supporting characters and everything, but no, the Leprechaun I just do not like. But I'm glad you like it and enjoy it. I just personally hate those movies so much. What's up, HD? Jake, you all have to check out From on Epic's app. It's a horror series. It's really good. I'll have to check that out. It sounds interesting. Hussein, how we doing? Do you know what I can get in touch with Reggie Scott? I represent a shoe company that can help some of these guys with knee injuries. I don't know how to get in touch with Reggie Scott. I've never really talked to him before. But I would imagine, contacting PR department or somebody along those lines. Artist Twyman. But I'm not really sure who you would contact in order to get in contact with Reggie Scott. Sorry, Hussein. What's up, Noah? Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you. Besides Wagner, what big name free agent do you think that we should try to sign up? Gilmore. Quite a few whispers about Wagner and Clowney. What do you think? I don't know if Clowney's going to end up working out. I don't really see it, but, who knows? Maybe. I need to order that Rams Super Bowl Blu-ray. What's up, Jake? Talking about the Fresh Prince. What's your thoughts on Will slapping Chris on live TV? I knew someone was going to ask me this. All right, so here's my thoughts. You ready for this? I think they're both wrong, but I'll say this. When it comes to Will Smith, respect Will Smith. I like Will Smith. I like his kid, Jaden. I'm a fan of his music. I'm a fan of his daughter, Willow's music. I like Jada Pinkett Smith. I think she's fantastic as Fish Mooney. And I do like her. So I like everybody in that family. But I also really do like Chris Rock, and I think his performance in case you haven't seen it, in Spiral is awesome. So I like all of them in this whole situation. So now here's my point. Chris Rock was making a joke. I understand why it's not the greatest joke, and I don't think it necessarily landed that well, but he's a comedian. And Will Smith, this is the thing that kind of gets me. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have the most open relationship probably in Hollywood, right? We all know they have an open relationship. They've had one for a while. So I guess my thought process there is there are so many worse things that could have been said by Chris Rock. And I also think it looks really bad when you see Will Smith. It pans to him laughing at the joke, and then he clearly looked over at Jada and was like, "Oh, I have an issue with this. I'm gonna do this. Yada yada yada." I don't know, man. I think it was kind of lame. Um, and I've seen people that are like, he could have killed the man. I also think that's lame too. But I mean, I guess credit to Chris Rock for holding his composure and being able to kind of host the show after getting slapped in the face and taking it. I thought taking it like a man. I mean, the fact he didn't do anything was even more manly. I thought he barely even flinched. That was like Kobe Bryant, with the what is it, the Raja Bell, you know. I don't remember how it went, but like he didn't flinch or whatever. Maybe it wasn't Raja Bell, but anyway, um, yeah, he didn't like flinch, and I don't know. I just think it was like a lack of respect for, uh, I think it was a lack of respect for his peers, and I like all of them, but I saw that Nolan Judd Apatow was saying that he could have killed him. I wouldn't necessarily go with that, but yeah, I just personally I wouldn't do it. I'm not a fan of just like unprovoked violence, and to me that's what it was. It was like his macho moment. It was Will looking like feeling bigger than he really is, and um yeah, I don't know. But and there are people trying to, take it all different way and all that, but I just think it's kind of dumb. Like, if you're gonna hate on Chris Rock and people are now boycotting Chris Rock's movies and stuff, if you want to hate on Chris Rock, fine. You probably didn't like him before, but I mean, it wasn't a Chris Rock issue. He made a joke. I mean, can you imagine if during the ESPYs, when I think it was the U.S. women's soccer team, when remember during the ESPYs when Peyton Manning made that joke and he's like, I just talked to the U.S. women's soccer team who just won, and they just told me that Kevin Durant wants to play for them this year. Like he made a joke about Kevin Durant, chasing the champions, chasing and ring chasing or whatever. And it's not like Kevin Durant walked down the steps and slapped him across the face. I mean, that was embarrassing. It's in front of all of his peers. How is that any different? I mean, they're always jokes. And when you're a public figure, you're constantly in the public eye. There's constantly going to be things where there's roasts. It just looks bad, It's a bad look all around. And I don't feel like it's as bad on Chris Rock as a lot of people are saying. But that's just my thoughts on it. I figured I would comment because I did see your comment, KMG, and that's my thoughts. Sorry for the delay. What's up, Braca? Sorry for the delay, but don't sleep on JoJo Doman out of Nebraska. If the Wagner thing falls through, he's a really good linebacker. There's a lot of good players out of Nebraska, by the way. I gotcha. Jakery, the Snakery. What's your take on the new playoff overtime rules? Why can't those be the regular overtime rules? Why does it now all of a sudden matter? Not directed at you, but I always laugh at, we're going to do this in the playoffs. So what are you saying? The regular season doesn't matter as much? Because that's what you're kind of telling me. We're not going to incorporate these rules during the regular season. So if you end up missing the playoffs because the rules are that, oh well. But then if you get to the playoffs, you do have that privilege. It always seemed weird to me, Always seemed weird to me, but it is what it is. I'm for the overtime rules. Just thought it should be in the regular season too. I'm not really sure about Clowney in a fit for the Rams. Really not sure. He could be, but I don't know if it's worth the money necessarily. Ant Davis body control all over the place. Yes, I agree. Just rewatched the Andromeda Strain. You want a great old school suspense thriller? That's it. Noted. Watch the anime Parasite. It's really good. Only one season. I'm guessing Coach K. That's why. I heard that besides Wagner, the Rams could be interesting. Clowney, what do you think? I don't really know. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I don't love Clowney, to be honest with you. I feel like he's going to be more expensive than he's worth, but That's just me. The Lakers are also really stupid not matching Alex Caruso's offer from the Bulls. I do agree with that. We live, yes we are. Did you watch Altered Carbon? Carbon? Wow, can't even talk. Uh, Altered Carbon on Netflix, Jake. That show was amazing. Just another unfortunate, stupid cancellation by Netflix, but a great show nonetheless. I have not, Alex. I heard it's really good though. We need Bobby Wagner. Alex Caruso said when he got the offer from Chicago, he went to the Lakers, gave him a chance to match it. Key piece in the championship team that wasn't valued. Stupid Rob Pelinka. What's up, Mr. Rams House? How we doing? What do you think we are going to draft first? I kind of feel like they're going to draft defense first. I know there's people that are already on the running back train, but I think defense will be first. I just can't bring myself to bet against Coach K. Oh, Lord. We're doing that again, aren't we? Oh, man. Would you trade a late round draft pick for Zeke Elliott? I just think he needs a change of scenery. He's a very physical runner, and he's the best blitz pickup blocker IMO. No. I don't like Zeke Elliott. I don't think he's worth the money. I would not trade assets to acquire him when I don't think he's as good as Tony Pollard. So I would pass on that. Awesome. It just reloaded. Okay. Latest on Wagner, there's just not really a lot. He's down to the Rams and Ravens in all likelihood, and he'll make a decision at some point whenever he feels ready. Invincible on Amazon Prime was also amazing. Yes, I can't wait for Invincible Season 2. Don't forget to hit the like button, my friends. Yes, please hit the like button. Let's get to 100 likes. We're at 78. Shouldn't Cooper Kupp get 30 per year if he has another year like last year? It would seem so. I mean, it'd be hard not to pay him full price, you know? Mittler's Instagram post quoting OBJ is interesting. YouTube TVA hating again. Assuming Aaron Donald would want to play at least a year in Pittsburgh before he retires, so other in LA, that's the place he will likely play in. I don't want Clowney. I heard the $12 million. I wouldn't pay $12 million for Clowney. No cap space for $11 million with Wagner. Bobby Wagner won't be a Ram. Odell will sign elsewhere. The Rams will be fine. People need to chill. What do you think about Chris Sims rating Matt Corral the number 1 quarterback in the draft? I don't really see it with that guy. Nothing against him. I just don't, I don't really see number 1, Man, I hate sneezing on air. Anyway, YouTube is not telling me when you have a new video. What should I do? Make sure, Ted, that your notifications are on if you're using a mobile phone. Make sure your notifications are on. Yeah, you might have to go into the app and turn them on, but that might be the reason. Rams should trade for Zeke or CMC. I want Stafford with the superstar running back. I would not want either of them because Christian McCaffrey's never healthy. That's why I won't ever draft him in fantasy. And Ezekiel Elliott, I just don't think is that great. I think he's a big name. He's getting paid a lot of money. It makes no sense for the Rams to take on that contract. Let's see. Is Duke in the same category as Alabama for a lot of people? That's a good question. I mean, I guess kind of, but I don't know. I feel like Alabama feels more likable. I mean, obviously I like Alabama, but Alabama's more likable, even when I didn't like them necessarily. I just, Duke to me, I think the one that said, the big reason why I think a lot of people hate Duke is because the Fab Five really kind of, they were liked and they really dug into Duke and a lot of the stuff they said. So, it's like popular to hate Duke. It's also popular to like Duke. They're like a lovable, hateable team. Calais Campbell or Akeem Hicks. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't think they'll do that, but oh yes, let's drag the Leprechaun franchise always. Leprechaun in the Hood is the best horror movie of all time. Dear God, no. Cup will get his. Why does everyone want us to get Zeke? Did he demand a trade or something? I don't know. I personally don't like Zeke at all. And I'm still not over the stuff that happened off the field. I would not want him anywhere near the Rams. And I'm not one of those people that has like a four pillars. Like, I understand, people, they make mistakes. Like, I'm all for second chances, but there's some guys that I don't like. Tyreek Hill, for instance. I don't like the stuff that went down before he became an NFL pro. Um, Deshaun Watson, the jury's out on, but I'm not really comfortable with the whole Deshaun Watson thing. I don't like Ezekiel Elliott when he did off the field. I don't know. I just feel like there's all these guys that constantly don't get in trouble off the field, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what about this guy? Even though he's got a rap sheet. I don't know. But then you have the other guys that get like clumped into that mess, like a Jalen Ramsey, because the media didn't like the way he answered questions in Jacksonville. Um, let's see. Matthew, thank you so much for donating. What's up, Jake? Hey man, with all these positions getting all-time high money, especially at wide receiver, where it is possible to have two elite wide receiver on one team, will the cap limit ever go up? I mean, it's going to go up. I just don't know. Like, of course the limit will go up, but I just don't know if there's a market correction coming or anything, because it just seems like we've reached this point where now receivers are making a ton of money. I guess the market kind of corrects itself because, before, safeties used to make a lot, and John Johnson had a hard time, and Tyrann Mathieu's not signed. So I've seen that, but I don't know. It feels kind of weird, doesn't it? Like, there's just too much money being handed out that it's not going to have a really bad effect moving on. But I guess we'll find out when we find out. I don't think they need to draft a kicker. If you're talking about a punter, that makes a little bit more sense. I disagree on trading for a big name running back. We are fine there. Pick up a good prospect in the draft. Yeah, I would much rather have Hassan Haskins in the draft at running back to add like a third guy over trading for somebody like that. I'm not a fan of trading for either of those guys. And I don't really like Christian McCaffrey. I think the best ability is availability. And when you're Christian McCaffrey who can never stay healthy, that is a concern to me. Elliott has issues staying healthy. Elliott has, issues basically being, conditioned. Elliott has a ridiculous contract. I'm not a fan of either of those. Saquon, I've heard Saquon makes the most sense if they do something like that. And if they do something like that, then they're saying Saquon Barkley is essentially like having Todd Gurley in his prime. That's what they're going for. But no, I don't think they're going to do any of them. And I don't think that they've soured on... I mean, maybe they've soured on Henderson. I don't know. But you can't tell me they've soured on Cam Akers enough to do that. There's just no way. Let's see. I'm gonna go the Will Smith, the Pursuit of Slappiness. That's funny. A late round pick can't be for Zeke. It's a violent felony, level 5.2 years recommended sentence. What is? I don't even know what you're talking about. Are the Cowboys trading Zeke? Guys, let's stop with the Zeke Elliott talk. I mean, this guy really is not as good as the way people are making him out to be. Odell has two torn ACLs on the same knee, is about to get 30, yet him taking long to sign tells me his agent is trying to cash in big on what he did before the injury. I think he's salty about A-Rob. Maybe. I don't know. I think it was staged to get people mind off the Ukraine. I don't think it was staged, but I hear you. Akers 4th round pick or Zeke? Who says no? I do. Because I would never trade Akers for Zeke straight up, let alone giving them a 4th round pick on top of that. I don't want Zeke for free. I don't want Ezekiel Elliott on the Rams, period. I just don't. Chris is the actual rock. Using the laptop seems like the stream looks better or something. Yes, the laptop's here. The stream does look better because we're now fully in 60 frames. We're not dropping any frames whatsoever. I've monitored the whole thing. We're also on low latency, ultra low latency. I've been on low for a while, but now we're on full capability 60 frames, 1080, and ultra low latency, meaning that I say something and 4 seconds later you're hearing it instead of the low latency, which is about 10 to 12 seconds, and normal latency, which is as much up to 20 seconds after the fact I'm saying it. That's a huge delay. I want to be more in tune, obviously, with the audience. I think we have such a great community that I was really putting a premium on going out and making sure I could cut down that delay. And so I'm really happy to say that I was able to do that. And we are on a 4 second delay, which is as good as you can get on YouTube. It does not get any better than that. Unless we work at like a TV network or something, and even still 4 seconds is probably about the latency you'd like to have. So like I said, guys, I wanted to upgrade, and right now we've upgraded. Let's see. Zeke is not washed. Kinda is. It was Matt Barnes. Yes, it was Matt Barnes. Man, these think pieces about the situation are unbearable. Yeah, that's true. I really don't think Odell ends up re-signing. Zeke is way washed. Let's see. A rich man slapped another rich man. They both went home rich. They'll be alright. That's funny. I wonder if Will smacked August for that song about his wife. Usually people don't get to the comedian when they try to get to them. Different circumstances and embarrassing for Will, laughing, punching, and then crying. I think he's got mental issues at the moment. Potentially, I don't know for sure. I can't really speak on his, mental, capacity or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good look. And I mean, I could care less about the Academy personally. I'm not the biggest fan of them because I'll say this, and I'm not saying this automatically should allow you to win every award, but let's call it like it is, guys. The only reason movie theaters didn't die like we all kind of thought they could is because of the comic book movies. I mean, say what you will, I mean, the Academy never wants to give No Way Home its shot or any of those, oh, it's an Avengers movie, that doesn't count. But let's be honest here. It doesn't matter if it's an Avengers movie. That said Avengers movie or the Spider-Man movie is the reason that you're able to have your movie in theaters. It's the reason people are still going to theaters. I mean, think about it. It got so bad to the point they had to make it exclusive in movie theaters. And now it's like, going to see No Way Home, going to see the Batman, those movies encapsulate exactly why you go to see them in theaters, why people want to do that in their leisure time and see, something in a different light. And I don't know, man. I'm just so over the whole the Academy and the pretentious attitude and like, oh, well, that's a Marvel film. That's like Disneyland. This is real cinema. And then you have those said Marvel films or those Avengers films or Disneyland films that are getting these, big time cinema actors. I mean, that's the thing is when you have Tom Holland, who's been in all sorts of crazy, crazy movies, top notch, Scorsese-esque movies, coming out and saying that it's no different. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is one of the best actors out there, and he's Doctor Strange. I mean, he's been in some incredible movies, but he's Doctor Strange. I find it funny. It really is. It is a bunch of snobs. I'm not saying everyone's like that. I'm not saying, just like I'm not saying every critic is bad. I'm not saying every analyst is a talking head or, a moron or whatever. But, I think that more often than not, you have the pretentious, Academy. And I mean, those are my thoughts. I just really don't feel like they understand how comic book movies are basically keeping, the Academy, keeping film, keeping movie theaters afloat. I mean, what makes the most money? Well, I can tell you right now, it's movies that have CGI. It's movies that have great VFX. It's movies that keep you, constantly on the edge of your seat. And it's been Spider-Man movies, it's been Avengers movies, it's been Batman movies, it's been Avatar, okay? Those are the movies that are like the highest grossing movies in the box office. It's not, Licorice Pizza. You know what I mean? It's not those type of movies. It's not the Grand Budapest Hotel, okay? It's just not. It's not, what is it? The Dog? The Temple? I don't even know what it's called. The Temple of the Dog. No, that's not it. The Power of the Dog. It's not those. You can still like those, but I mean, if you think that is what's like propelling movie theaters, if you think the reason that movie theaters are doing so well is because of like movies like the Grand Budapest Hotel, then I hate to break it to you, that is not the case. They're around in movie theaters and able to be seen because of how much money those said theaters make off the comic book films. That's why. Just like the next Harry Potter movie when that comes out. That won't be up for any awards. That could be the greatest movie of all time. That Fantastic Beasts film looks good, but if that ends up being the greatest movie of all time, it won't matter. It won't win one award. And we could talk about it. They always, they'll always blur the lines, right? Because it's not comic book, then all of a sudden it's, oh, well, remember Uncut Gems and how great Uncut Gems was? Adam Sandler and in that role that he played, Julia Fox was great. Like, that movie was awesome. That was like Scorsese-esque. That was cinema. And that didn't get like any awards. How about Nightcrawler? Go and watch Nightcrawler. Okay? Go and watch that with Jake Gyllenhaal and tell me why that didn't get all the awards. There's movies like that, and then it's always like, oh, well, we can't have, comic book films. I don't know. It's a slap in the face. Everyone works really hard in movies and cinema and all of that. I just think at the end of the day, there's a lot of people in the academy and just people in general that don't take it seriously, and they're very pretentious. And like people are saying, movie snobs, absolutely. So, let's see. It just like totally went all the way down. Okay. I've never listened to The Devil Wears Prada before. I've heard of them, but I've never listened to them, no. Jake, when are you doing a live stream about the draft? Michael, I'm just waiting on some news to come out. I need to know who the Rams, like what are going to be needs and things like that, but I'm working on it. The comic book genre kept it thriving for sure, absolutely. Me either, Jake. Let's see. 4-second latency feels like all the time NFL wanted during Janet Jackson halftime show. Let's see. District 9 didn't get any awards either. Yep, there's another one. Nightcrawler is excellent. Yes, I absolutely love Nightcrawler. It was so good. So good. How many of you have checked out Moon Knight? I'm curious what you thought. I thought Moon Knight was awesome. Very groovy. Agree on movie industry like the TV was full of sitcoms, then writers ran out of stuff to write about. Married with Children, with my fave. Appreciate you donating, Matthew. Yeah, I agree. I think that there's kind of like this double standard. I mean, I notice it with everything, right? Like there's certain music that like, oh, well, that's not the most popular, so that's bad. Like you shouldn't like listen to that. But then like if you listen to the most popular, then I noticed that with film. It's like you can't be a film savant. You can't be somebody that's well respected. You can't be a respected critic, a fan critic, whatever, if you think movies are like all the time good, right? Like if you were to say, like, in your review, if you don't use the term fan service in a review where you're talking about No Way Home, you're not a critic. Like, I've seen that. Like, people are like, oh, it was just fan service. Just like, Mandalorian. Oh, it's just fan service at the end of the day. Book of Boba Fett, fan service. We throw around these terms like fan service all the time, but I mean, in reality, like, why? You know? I don't know. The Shape of Water. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Or, also, the Victorian era. Are we done making movies about the Victorian era, or are we going to keep doing that? Like, is this going to keep going? Like, do we ever stop making movies of, like, the same topic over and over and over and over and over again? I mean, because that's really what it is, Nolan. Is that when someone says, oh, it was just fan service, they're dismissing your opinion on it. That's what they're doing, you know? I saw that about, like, Lord of the Rings, you know? It's just. It's like the new Lord of the Rings show. Oh, it's just fan service. How is it fan service? It's a completely original story. It takes place before all of the Lord of the Rings movies. How is that fan service? There's nobody that would be connected. I don't know. That stuff just annoys me, man. We throw around that all the time. The whole fan service, all of that. I mean, we do it with players too. There's different ways of doing it, but, you know. M9. That's an interesting way of calling Matthew Stafford. I don't know if you guys saw or if you game him at all, but I did notice that PlayStation's coming out with their PlayStation Plus subscription that is reportedly going to, I guess, not really. I mean, I guess it's going to compete with Xbox Game Pass, but I don't think on the level of what some people thought. What do you guys think about it? Yay, nay, bad, horrible? Yeah, but the problem is, like, with me in that regard, guys, is that I don't like anime. I've tried it. It's not my thing. So, Dragon Ball, I just love the lore. I think it's extremely deep, actually. And I'm not saying it's more deep than the other. I just don't really care about them. I didn't find them interesting. Their characters aren't as good, in my opinion. I don't know. I just look at characters like Goku, Vegeta, Gohan. I mean, the story and everything. I've played all the games. I just think it's by far the best one, but that's just me. Obviously everyone likes their own stuff, but yeah, I'm just I just don't like anime that much. Like, Naruto is all right. Couldn't really get into it. And then there's other stuff like Bleach and One Punch Man and My Hero Academia and all that. I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I've tried. One Piece. I just don't care. So, yeah. Best game I've ever played. Ooh, this is tough. I mean, I could just go with the default Skyrim answer. Um, I just feel like Skyrim just totally changed my life almost. I got hit by a car and then Skyrim came out. True story, but no, I loved it. I thought it was a great game. It just was so different than anything I'd ever played. The open world aspect of it, just crazy, But yeah, I'd probably say Skyrim. Yeah, people do take anime personal. That's true. Yeah, Piccolo. Although they made him more like yellow. I noticed they like tinted his in the upcoming like superhero film. They have him kind of yellow. Castlevania. I've played the game like years ago. Later, Joaquin. Terrence, I think he was right. I think OBJ was on his way to becoming Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, see, I can't do that. Nolan, I can't do that. I can't watch 5,000 episodes an arc or whatever. Mr. Rams house, I think that they're gonna win again. I think they're gonna play the Bills in the Super Bowl. I do. Yeah, well, the PlayStation one comes out in June. They're adding 700 games to the catalog, so that's interesting. It's intriguing. It's something that's definitely on my mind. Not a fan of Last of Us 2. I didn't like the what's the word I'm looking for, or the term I'm looking for? Bait and switch. That was the worst bait and switch since Raiden and Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. I was thinking that before the Von Miller acquisition. I just felt like the Bills were great. Love Mass Effect. Red Dead Redemption. I've never played it. I have played it. I've never really gone too into it. I've never really played the first one. Like I played a little bit of it. I played more the Undead Nightmare more, but yeah, I mean Dragon Ball definitely has the nostalgia for sure. Been meaning to play Red Dead 1, played Red Dead 2, loved it. Last of Us 1. I loved Last of Us, the regular one. The Last of Us 2, like I said, the bait and switch was just bad. I didn't care about that other character at all. I cared about Ellie. That was it. So, you know. Yeah, it's hard for me to get into games, is what I find. I mean, remember we did some streams on here? What would we play? Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human was awesome. I loved that game. I loved streaming that game. I thought it went over very well. Um, we played the Ratchet and Clank brand new game. I still haven't beaten that. I came close to the end and I just haven't beaten it. I have not played God of War. I want to. That's probably next to my list. Right now I'm just playing Elden Ring. But oh yeah, the Detroit game was very solid. Well, I liked the different, you know, I liked the storyline that they went with. I thought it was the right like way to do it. Graphics were great, you know, but yeah, I think Ragnarok is gonna be really good. Hopefully, I beat the God of War, the one where the kid was introduced, the one that's just called God of War on PS4 or whatever. Hopefully, I beat that before that comes out. Yeah, so I played Dead by Daylight. I it gets kind of like too linear for me. Like everything just becomes super repetitive. The animations are repetitive. That's my only issue. But I have all the characters. Yeah, yeah. I didn't like her, Eddie. I don't know, Jake. I agree. Also, had Odell not gotten hurt, you would have been the MVP. Absolutely agree with that. Anyone remember the old Jack and Dexter? I grew up playing the game, thought it was pretty sweet, probably ahead of its time. Yeah. I mean, well, those games were great. I mean, you talk about Spyro, Jack and Daxter, and Sly Cooper. I really feel like the next Sly Cooper game with the PS5 graphics would be just such a banger. Never really got into Metro. I probably have all of them though. Yeah, I have God of War on PS5. I still have to play it. Yeah, I only watched one episode of Breaking Bad, really enjoyed it, and never got around to watching it again. Yeah, I've never been a mobile game fan. I don't like it personally. I either play at my desk, like with my PS5, laying back in my chair streaming, or I watch something on my TV. I don't really find the need to like. I don't want to look down and like hurt my neck or anything because I get like stiff neck and all the time. I used to be like a portable console gamer, like back in the day, Game Boy Advance, um, Nintendo DS, whatever. I had those. Played a lot of Pokemon, you know. And then the PSP came out, which was a game changer. Played a ton of SmackDown versus Raw 2008. Played a ton of NBA 2K8. Played a ton of the MLB '08 game. Um, Madden '08. Although Madden was terrible on that. And I don't know why, but it just was. Um, and then I wanted to get the PS Vita or the PSP Go, and I never ended up getting either of those. And now I found out I was gonna buy the Vita for cheap, and I found out now the Vita has no capabilities. Like you can't access the store, you can't buy new games. Yeah, it's just not great. So, but apparently those will be available. Those games will be available on PlayStation Plus. So that's something. Um, Tay Tay, this is whatever channel you guys want it to be. I mean, you know, if it says JE Live next to it, I mean, it's really. I talk about whatever, you know? People want to talk, want to ask questions, I'm going to answer them. What's pink level? Messi or Ronaldo? I'm not the person to ask about soccer. I have no idea like how good either of those guys are. I just know that they're probably the best in their sports. That I'll leave it at that. But I'd probably ask you about it. I don't know who would you pick, Pedro? Because for me, I don't know the sport enough to be able to pick that. Um, yes, Sly Cooper on next gen would be great. 2K needs to get in on the NFL games. I think that's coming soon. The Warriors video game is underrated. NFL Blitz for Nintendo 64, great. Just Rams talk. We love our Rams. Let's keep talking Rams football. The best of the best. They need to bring the PSP back. So here's my understanding is that the new PlayStation Plus thing is going to be streamed. It's going to be able to be streamed on PC. And so what I think that they're going to do is that I don't know if you've heard about the Steam Deck, but the Steam Deck is like having a portable PC. It allows you to play all the Steam games. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to collab with Sony in some capacity where that's the new PSP, if that makes sense. That'll be able to play PS5 games on it. But I don't know. Yes, I was able to catch the Moon Knight episode. I thought there was a lot of stuff. I will say, watching Ethan Hawke, his character, put his sandals on with broken glass in them really gave me like pain. Like I don't like broken glass. I don't like feet. Also, whoever directed this has a foot fetish. Can we all agree? The first 5 minutes they're zooming in on two different people's feet. Foot fetish. That's the early sign of it. Not hating, I'm just pointing out the obvious. Clear foot fetish. 2 in the first 5 minutes of the show. I mean, just a little ridiculous there. I don't think the Rams keep Sony Michel. No. Ramsey smoke. Let's see. Still gotta watch Moon Knight. Man, you're behind. I think it does come down to price with Wagner for sure. Is that confirmed? I don't think it's confirmed that the Rams are playing the Broncos week 1 unless it just was confirmed. Eagles officially re-signed Boston Scott. No other news. Rotten Tomatoes has Moon Knight at 84%. And that's all I got here for news. So interesting. Yeah, I've only heard about them. I don't really like soccer, so I don't watch it. But um, that's what I heard is that like Messi, people tend to lean him over Ronaldo. What do you think of Bucks being favored over Rams? Typical Tom Brady love. No, I wasn't spoiling anything. Just that foot fetish. Get the likes up. We will own everyone, especially Wilson. It's going to be Rams versus Bills Super Bowl, as what Jake and I agreed on. I agree. I meant Super Bowl co-MVP. AD deserved a piece. That's fair. Jake, for health and body fitness, what exercise regimen do you prefer? If you still play sports, what is your fun sport to play? Century, I just got back into the gym after months away from it. What I'll say is that I really have just been doing, just the usual for me, which is, I have a day where I do back and biceps, and then a day where I do chest and triceps, and then a day where I do, leg day, and then, a day where I focus on shoulders, and then another muscle group. But, I'm always doing cardio after that. Just trying to do kind of everything and get the ab workout going and everything. But I haven't been to the gym in a long time, so I'm just trying to catch up at this point. I'm predicting we only get OBJ. That would be, it wouldn't be the worst, but yeah, right. You got to watch that Lakers series on HBO. Oh, Eddie, I have. I can't wait for Sunday. Donate your knee to Odell. I don't need it. That 4th and 1 cup converted was so risky. That was a game breaker if he failed. You're absolutely right. That was the game. Winning time is awesome. Good to hear, Jake. That's awesome. Thank you, Century. Is Gilmore still out there? He is. Keep it up. Thanks, Eric. I will. Oh, yeah. Winning time is great. I just really enjoy it. I thought they did a really nice job. I think they hit the nail on the head. I understand there's people that are like, "Oh, it's not super realistic." The Tarkanian thing is very realistic. I don't know if you guys went ahead and Googled that, but that is 100% factual. What happened with that one guy, Vic Weiss? That's 100% real. Like that actually happened. That isn't that horrifying? That's 100% factual. Vic Weiss was killed. I think he got like it's one of those cases that went cold and they never found who did it, but it was that mob in Vegas, which keep in mind back in the day, Vegas wasn't exactly the nicest place. Not that it's still the nicest place, but But that really happened. That whole Tarkanian thing was real. I didn't realize they actually had hired him, but that actually made him stay. So that was pretty crazy. But yeah, they've done just such a nice job. Norm Nixon's son playing Norm Nixon is really cool. Um, Jason Segel playing Westhead, I thought was cool. It's funny how many people don't even realize that Jack McKinney is the one that basically created the Showtime Lakers offense. Like, he's the one that created that, but he gets into a bike accident, and then all of a sudden Paul Westhead takes over. And when Westhead takes over, he goes back to more of the old way that they were playing with Jerry West, in that he starts to lean more towards ISOing, not, what's his name? Totally forgot his name. Kareem, there we go. So he goes more towards isolating Kareem, and basically what ends up happening is that Westhead butts heads with Magic, and the reason is because Westhead changes the offense. He doesn't run the same thing McKinney does, and that's when they decide, despite the fact that they win a title, that's when they decide they're going to go after Pat Riley. and they let him go, and they go after Pat Riley, and that's the story. But we'll see how they do it. Really, really interesting though. I'm curious to see how that bike incident happens, and if there's any like foul play involved, because Jack McKinney almost dies from the bike accident. The real true story. That's actually the story of the Lakers. But yeah, appreciate you, Matthew. Take care. Perfect castings for Winning Time. Absolutely love it. The guy that looks exactly like Jerry West, the same guy. This guy looks exactly like Magic. This guy looks exactly like Kareem. Norm Nixon's kid obviously looks like Norm Nixon. I mean, John C. Riley as Jerry Buss, just such a great job. That's when you know the producers did a really nice job of putting that together. Yeah. Yeah, Westhead. This is really interesting. So Westhead takes over. The assistant, he takes over when McKinney gets into a bicycle accident. I don't know how they're going to show it. I'm not spoiling anything because this is the story. This is actually what happened, but I don't know how they're going to portray it. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'd imagine this upcoming episode that we'll see on Sunday, they're going to talk about it a little bit. McKinney's going to have this team moving. The offense is going to show what they can do. And then he's going to get in the bicycle accident. And then what we're going to see is Paul Westhead take over, Jason Segel's character. And we'll see what ends up happening. But, I mean, that's what happened with Showtime. And then eventually, he was so obsessed with using and isolating Kareem in the post and kind of slowing down the tempo. The players decided really they needed a new guy. And Pat Riley ended up running the Jack McKinney Showtime Lakers offense, and that was that. But I'm very curious to see how they do that. House of the Dragon comes out on my birthday, so I know it's going to be fire. Yes, I saw that. That looks very interesting. Very excited for that. Jarvis Landry is not worth $30 million. No, he is not. JG is Mr. Hard Knocks now. That's funny. 3-time Hard Knock champ. Dear God. I was hoping at some point we would get some news, but doesn't look like we're getting anything. Less lurking on the stream. Yeah, right. Don't sleep on John Wolford, all uppercase letters. Man, it's good to be back. It's good to not have to worry about frame droppage and all of that. I mean, now we just have to figure out why the hell, my mic wasn't working at the start of this, but hopefully we don't have that same issue. Maybe we will. Who knows? But yeah, guys, I think this has been a lot of fun. We'll have to keep doing these, obviously. I'll have some more stuff coming, but that's going to do it for this one. Be sure to check out my gaming channel. I'm going to be probably gaming and doing some Elden Ring later on tonight, so be sure to check that out. But that's going to do it for me. Go watch Moon Knight. Go check out Gotham, and I'll see you guys soon. Later.